Welcome to Founders Future, a podcast powered by Closer.io, where we dive into the journeys of innovative entrepreneurs and explore the road ahead of them and their companies. I'm your host, Olivia Sammons, and in each episode, we'll uncover the stories behind successful startups, the challenges faced along the way, and the strategies driving their future growth. Today, we're super excited to have Janet Neal joining us, the founder of Superb Women, a coaching and training practice dedicated to helping professionals create productive, joyful, and should-free lives. With 20 years of IBM, where she launched their first work-life balance initiative in New Jersey, to founding a women's co-working centre and writing books as the reformed Superb Woman, Janet brings decades of wisdom to empower individuals to align work, life, and purpose. Janet, thank you so much for joining us. Welcome to Founders Future.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
Thank you. Such a pleasure having you. So, I like to start with my guests at the beginning of their journey. So, can you take us back to the beginning? And then maybe what specific problem had you inspired you to start Superb Woman?
Sure. So way back when I was a teacher, I always felt I was a teacher. And I did that as an elementary school teacher for a few years until I burnt out. And then I thought, oh, now what am I going to do? So I took a break, went back to school, got a summer job working at IBM, thinking it was going to be a summer job. And as you said, it turned into a 20-year career that turned into a sales career. And I have three children, and I was coming back from my third maternity leave, and I was working for a very forward-thinking man
Okay.
in the late 1990s. And he said to me, Janet, I'd like you to start a work-life balance initiative. And being the good corporate employee, I went, yes. And I had never heard the term before. So I had no idea what to do, but he gave me free rein. And so I put together a group of individuals from the company, cross-function, cross-level, and we decided to put in place programs that would help you when you're at work, your work when you're home, and did all kinds of training things, walking clubs, sold take-home dinners, things like that. Found that was more my passion than selling computers.
Love
And
it.
so for one of the first times in my life, I really listened to myself. And I knew that if I stayed in this job, it was a good job, great company,
Yeah.
but it wasn't me. And if I was going to stay there, I was going to get sick. I knew it. And
Yeah.
so, against everybody, my family, friends, everybody's opinions that why would you ever leave? I left and I decided to start my own company, even though I had no idea how to do this. I just felt it was the right thing to do.
Yeah.
So I started with work-life balance training, went back to that teacher in me and did that. And then along the way, I realized that I was really caught up in this trying to be a superwoman. And I realized that was all about what you can do according to what somebody else is telling you. And I thought, no, that is not the right model. What we need to do is we need to learn to be ourselves and then go do. And
Yeah.
that's when the world uses your talents. That's when you can be of the most service. And so I coined a new phrase, superb woman. So I trademarked that. And then I got certified as a coach. And then I started working with women and helping them to connect with who they are, to become that whole person, and then to go out into the world.
Love it. I feel like I talk to a lot of founders, obviously, naturally through the podcast, and a lot of women that I speak to, coaches, consultants, the imposter syndrome word creeps in a lot sometimes when they're
Yeah.
going through,
Mhm.
they've got the burnout story, and much like yourself, as you mentioned, they're from teaching and then coming through to selling and whatever else. So the fact that you're pointing the emphasis on women to find themselves to then obviously do their purpose and move on, I
Yep.
love, and I genuinely do, and I feel like it's such an important step to highlight in women entrepreneurship. Yeah. So would you say that kind of past experiences that you'd had in your career has really helped shape this venture of the life that you're working through?
Absolutely. I believe
Yeah.
that everything in life is a learning opportunity.
Yeah.
It's a stepping stone. If I hadn't burned out from teaching, I wouldn't have gotten the job at IBM. And if I hadn't gotten the job at IBM, I wouldn't know about work-life balance and et cetera, et cetera. And it continues.
Madness. So when did the work-life balance kind of conversation start? Because I feel like that's quite a modern term.
Exactly. This was like in 1997
Mm.
that this manager said this to me. And so we became the first IBM location on the East Coast that would have some kind of work-life balance initiative. Then that evolved. I was a speaker at many work-life balance conferences, Working Mother magazine, lots of things like that. And IBM has always been in the forefront in those kinds of things. And I really believed in it. I still do believe that it's all tied in with this whole concept of being.
Yeah.
When you're aligned with your purpose, aligned with your skills, what you can do to help
Yeah.
others, that's what it's all about.
Love it. And now let's talk about Superb Women a little bit more. So, for the listeners, so we have more context, can you dive into the exact offer and what it would be like to work with you?
Yeah. There's lots of different offshoots of this whole title of the Superb Woman. As you mentioned, my first foray in 2007, I started a women's co-working center before there was even such a thing.
Oh,
And then that evolved. And then, as I said, I do coaching. So I work one-on-one with women who are trying to find their path to connect with who they are and go forward. Another thing that I did recently is I was an internal coach at Barclays Bank. And
okay.
at Barclays, I really focused on young people who had just graduated from college, and I
Yeah.
saw the same kinds of needs. And so that prompted me when I left Barclays to start whole person success coaching to help a different generation, the same kind of thing, to help them to understand their path and how to be most successful on it.
Amazing. And so you've got the one-to-one coaching, you said is there a group session off the back of that as well?
I don't have any group sessions now. From time to time, I do
Okay.
public speaking. I do a lot of training courses, leadership development, those kinds of things. And then one other thing that I just started, I'm a huge believer in being open to possibilities. My word, I do a word for the year, and my word this year is allow. And so
Allow.
in March, I was driving through my town where I live, which is like foodie heaven. And I'm looking at all these fabulous restaurants and I'm thinking, God, that'd be fun to go to these places, but I don't have anybody to go with. And I went back to when I had my professional women's center, and we used to do these little dining clubs. We'd go out
Yeah.
for dinner, a group of women. And I thought, wonder if anyone would be interested in that. So I put it on Facebook, looking for 3 to 5 people to go out to dinner with. I got 20 people that wanted
Amazing.
to do it. I went, I think there's something here. So I created the Dine Tribe, which is a women's dining club. There's the whole intention is connection. It's not about business cards and what can you do for me? It's about having fun, enjoying a good meal, no more
Love
than
it.
6 women at a time. And now we're in New Jersey and New York City. So it so when I say the superb woman, it there
Yeah.
just keeps going.
It's yeah, it's sounding more like the superb women than woman.
Exactly,
So
exactly.
I love it. It's all levels, all ages, and as you say, different walks, just helping people feel comfortable in
Yes,
life. Love it.
exactly.
So walk us through a little bit about maybe the ideal person that you like to work with. Who would be your ideal client and how would you go about finding them?
Usually I work with women, but like I said, recently working with people who have just graduated from college, men or women. So there's that. But the bottom line is somebody who actually wants to do the work, somebody who actually wants to change. Because I'm not going to tell you what to do, but I'm going to help you to figure out what it is. And there's nothing more frustrating than somebody going in and waiting for me to tell them what to do and not going to do any of the suggestions.
Yeah,
So it's got to be somebody who really is interested in making some positive changes in their life. And then I'm right there with you.
love it. And how long do you typically work with people, or does it just depend on the person?
It depends. Yeah, it does depend. I like to start with a minimum of 3 months
Okay,
because I think it takes that long to make some kind of a change in your life. Some I've worked with 3 months, 6 months, a year. I'm still in touch with many of them, come back for a little refresher session, but it just depends on the situation.
amazing. So now from there, in terms of, do you run a sales process when you get into these people and a marketing funnel as well off the back of that, or is it mainly kind of referrals and word of mouth?
At this point in my career, it's referrals.
Yep.
And I have built a very big network. I am a connector. I love to connect people, and in the process, they connect me. And I believe it's all about relationships. I learned this very early in my sales career that I was on a team where I was the one that they sent in to build the relationships and then handed it over to the people who are going to do the closing. So I'm the
Yeah.
relationship person, and I have seen the power of relationships. It's all about the connections. So, yeah, so that's where I'm at. I do it from referrals. I have done the whole, when I was really into building the business, I did the funnels on all the marketing stuff. At this point, referrals.
Love it. But we had success with that in the past, and it was things that you tried out and tested, and we're now comfortable with where we are.
Always tried out new things. Yes, because you never know.
You never know. You never know. And it's, as you say, it's even the same with connecting. You never know who you're going to connect with. So why would
Absolutely.
you not connect? Why would you not give it a try?
Exactly. Exactly.
So I'm very much on the same boat as that. I also, yeah. And then moving on from there, if I'm going to move into a little bit of a lightning round as we finish up.
Sure.
So if you could go back to your younger self and leave her with one bit of advice or nugget of wisdom that you know now that you didn't know back then, what would you say?
I would say trust yourself, that you don't need to see what other people think. Trust yourself.
Love it. And then in terms of scaling a business, I'm going to pick your brain apart from your knowledge. What would be the best piece of advice that you received in doing so?
First of all, you have to know what your business is and then make the connections. Who do you know that knows somebody that you need to know?
Love it. And then as a final note, to any founders who are maybe listening and just at the start of their own journey, what would you leave them with as a parting gift?
It ain't easy, but it's very worthwhile. And as long as you truly believe in what you're doing, you will find your way. Allow.
Love it. Allow, be open, connect, and I
Exactly.
would add communicate onto the end of that, but I'm not going to put words.
Absolutely. Yes.
But thank you so much. So that is a wrap on another inspiring episode of Founders Future. Janet, thank you so much for joining us, and thank you so much for sharing your journey with me today. Where can people reach out if they'd like to connect and work with you?
They can go to the website, thesuperbwoman.com, and you can find everything you need there.
Amazing. Superbwoman.com. And to our listeners, if you enjoyed this episode, please don't forget to subscribe to Founders Future via wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts. And if you are a business owner, specifically a coach, consultant, or agency owner, and you're really looking to scale and you want to enhance your sales and marketing efforts, visit closers.io to hop on a call with one of our team and discover how we were able to go from 0 to 30 million in less than 3 years. But until then, keep climbing and we will see you on the next one.